Finding clarity in your life. This is what this coaching is all about, so that you leave being clear about the things that you were unclear about before. And there are 4 areas that we will focus on with coaching. Number 1 is called finding your sense of direction in life. Many people are generally confused, they're very wavering, they don't know where they're going, but there's a great desire to actually find the answers to that. So if you are on this stage of your process and you come to the coaching, we will figure out, what am I naturally interested in? What am I naturally good at? What are my strengths and weaknesses? What do I want to dedicate myself to? Where do I want to be going? And much more during those 30 days. So that you leave knowing like, okay, this is who I am. This is what I want to dedicate my life to. This is what I want to be doing in my life. And this is me, right? This is what I'm meant to be doing on this earth in this lifetime. And I would like to facilitate that process for you, because it will change a lot of things, right? You will have a great sense of relief about yourself once you actually have found those answers. Secondly, you will feel much more sure about yourself, much more secure within yourself once you know that the anxiety that you may feel, the inner pressure, can be gone. I remember, when I was 20, 21 and I was starting dating women, and I didn't quite know, I didn't know myself yet. I didn't go through this clarity process, right? I was very anxious, very insecure about myself, very people pleasing, and a lot of those things fell away once I had those answers. Once I knew, okay, this is who I am, this is what I want to dedicate my life to, and this is where I'm going in life. So I know that many of you people who feel interested and attracted towards my work are also interested in inner work and healing work as well. And we oftentimes deal with things like, low self-esteem or like lack of self-love, something of that kind. But what I figured out, a very effective approach to therapy is actually called getting your life together, being clear about that, and then actualizing the life that you want to be living. So this is the first part of the coaching, finding your sense of direction in life. The second part of the coaching that we will focus on is called finding your purpose. This is for people who know, okay, I'm on a path, I have my sense of direction, but I don't quite know where this is leading me towards, right? Because the sense of direction that you have, it can branch off in numerous different directions that you can actualize. And finding your purpose means finding out, where do you want your path to lead towards, where do you want to be going in your life in a very concrete way. And a quick story of a client of mine. During the quarantine, I was going to a yoga class, and I happened to be the only one there. So the lady who was facilitating that and we got talking. And she said, I'm interested in so many things. I know exactly my sense of direction, what I'm meant to be doing here, but I don't quite know how to bring all those ideas together, right? I want to give yoga retreats, but I'm also interested in writing and blogging and nutrition and locally produced clothing and distributing that, but I'm also want to be going into psychology and counseling, but like, how do I bring this together? So we had some sessions and we figured that out. And now she has her clear purpose, where this path is leading her towards, and she is much more relieved because, as you can imagine, here in Peru, in a very traditional country, you have a lot of pressure from your parents when you're just reading books on yogic philosophy, right? So she wanted to figure that out, and we did. And I can do this for you as well. When you come to the coaching in those 30 days, you will get clarity about where do you want your path to look like. Either you have very little ideas, or you have too many ideas and you want to bring them all together. We can do that. This is what the coaching is targeted towards as well. The third area of focus in the coaching, this is about making it real, right? Creating an independent work or a business out of that. This is for people who know, okay, I'm on this path and I know where I want this to lead me, but now it's time to make it practical and make it real and create a business out of that. And let me tell you, it's not quite that simple, it's not that easy, because if you come in this stage of your life, in this stage of your process to the coaching, we will figure out, how do I want my ideal life to look like, generally, overall, right? Then from that, we will infer, how do you want your ideal day to look like? And from that, we will infer, what strategic decisions do you make in your business? How do you set it up, and which business to start? Because you want to do that because you feel that creating a work out of that and making a living from that will increase your quality of life. But this is not always the case. I mean, how many people of you know somebody who has some independent work or runs a business or is self-employed, and who is miserable and has a very shitty quality of life. So it's not quite that simple. You want to do some strategic thinking, and some people don't have the time or can't be bothered or don't have the energy to do that. This is why I'm offering this coaching, so that once you actually start your business, you start it the right way, not from a marketing perspective, not from a sales perspective, but from a life perspective, that you figure out first, how do you want your life to look like, and from that you make the strategic decisions on your business of, what do you have to do in this business? What can you outsource? Now, I'm aware that in the beginning you have to do lots of things by yourself, but it's good to have the clear vision of where you want it to go. Now, I also have a marketing background. So if it's about client acquisition, we will really figure out how to make this real, right? You have your passion, you have your path, you have your purpose, you know where you want to be going. And now it's time to make it real and make it practical and actually make some money and make a living with the things that you're interested in. And a very quick personal story here, my uncle, also an entrepreneur, tried many things, failed at many things, and eventually stuck with house flipping. And he wasn't doing this type of work of strategic thinking, figuring out how do you want to structure your business, what are my life priorities. So he drove himself into the ground, he lost himself in his work. So one day he got up and he was getting himself ready in the morning and he just passed out, right? His head hit the toilet and he never woke up again. That was a very, very tragic thing for all of us, because this showcases that if you don't make a strategic effort to find out how do I want my life to look like, how do I want each day to look like, and from that making your business decisions, it is very easy to get lost in the doing. And this is a sad thing, and I would like you to not make the same mistake as my uncle. So if you're on this stage, I can help you as well in the coaching. And the fourth part of that is, the fourth area of focus is if you have a certain pattern, a certain thing that's going on within yourself that you're unhappy with, that you've struggled with for like many years, and you can't get rid of that, and you really want to deeply understand that, you want to get a grasp on that, I will do this as well. Because I feel many people go and they seek out a counselor and they seek out a psychologist, and it's all about technique, all about getting rid of the problem without understanding the problem and its depth that it deserves, right? So sometimes I feel, the people that they hire lack a deep understanding of how the human mind works, how the human psyche works, what's happening inside of people's processes. So if you're somebody who knows, okay, I have this thing, but I don't quite understand it, and I want to get clarity about that so that I can go home and work on that by myself, this is what I'll be focusing on as well. So these are the 4 areas of my coaching. We figure out your sense of direction in life. We figure out your purpose, where the sense of direction is leading you towards. We'll figure out how to actually make this real and how to create an independent work or a business out of that, so you make money with what you're dedicating your life to. Or you have one problem, some self-sabotage thing, some unhealthy pattern, something of that kind, where you feel, I don't understand that, but I would like to understand that, and I'm willing to dedicate 30 days towards its resolution because it's really that big. You can come to a coaching, and I hope to see you there. Now, if you're interested, fill out the application form below, so we can see if we actually vibe together, if that works together, if you are a good fit for the other 3 people who come to a coaching cycle, because there has to be some good chemistry between all the participants. This is part of the process that you get to share with other people as well. This is also the reason why I narrow it down to those 4 areas, so that the people who show up, they can relate to each other, and it's not like we do a group intervention and I'm working with somebody and everybody else says, well, it doesn't apply to me, I'm kind of bored. So let me know in the application what you're about, what your problem is. You see all the questions there, and then we jump on the phone call and we make sure it's a good fit. You can answer some certain questions, whether there's anything unclear. And thank you very much, and I hope to see you live in Peru. So obviously it would be a phony thing to say that I'm so passionate about this coaching because I care about you so deeply, since, we don't know each other yet, right? This is the whole purpose of the application form and the phone call, that we get to know each other, that you get to care about me and my work, and I get to care about you personally as a client. But what I do care about deeply is my sense of mission in life, and I want to explain how the coaching is linking into that. So I was asking myself, from all the problems that today we see in the world, what is the one underlying thing that if we address that, it would help make a contribution towards the solution of all the other things as well. And what I found in my observation, in my personal opinion, it is that we're not living in alignment with life, and we're not living in alignment with nature. And if we don't, then life will give us means to course correct us. You know, some certain life events that are meant to wake us up and shake us up so that we course correct. On a personal journey, for example, if you're not living in alignment with life, you're not living in alignment with what is right and true for you, there are certain life events, you know, starting from subtle, the pointers, right? From subtle to more severe, so that we wake up and that we course correct. And this can be, you know, a stroke, this can be a car accident, this can be another medical condition, this can be a divorce, this can be people leaving you, a business breaking down, something of that kind. You know, if you watch the movie Wolf of Wall Street, this is the reason why I love this movie so much, because it really depicts how if we are not living life in the right way, and this means first of all the right thing for us, right, in alignment with life, then life has means to course correct us, and things will break down until we get it, until we realize, and then we pivot towards living life the right way. And the same thing happens on the level of society as well. So all the problems that we see today, may it be like wildfires or social justice and everything in between, there are so many. I think if we made the fundamental shift towards living in alignment with life and with nature, we will find a solution for all those other symptoms as well, but it has to start with one individual at a time. And so my intention to make a contribution towards that with the coaching and with my work is threefold. So number one, during my coaching, as I lead people through those clarity processes, I also help them find their own nature inside and get an understanding and a grasp of their own nature inside, right? So what are your natural strengths and weaknesses? What are your talents? What is it that comes effortless to you? Like, all this is part of your nature. And as people get to understand and get a grasp of their own nature, they realize that if I align my life with that, and if I structure my work and how I'm living around what comes natural to me, life over time will become more satisfying and much more fulfilling. And they also get to realize that, you know, there's something inside of me that I can nurture and harness, and if I just understand that and make use of that, it will take care of me. The same applies to like nature on the outside, right? It was there before you came. And if you just, and it's a self-sustaining system, right? If you just understood it a little and would align your ways of living with nature's ways, then nature would take care of you, right? So by having an appreciation for their own nature within, people also get to have an appreciation for nature on the outside. You know, if you ask most people, if you did like a street poll and ask people what is nature, most people would say something along the lines of like wilderness, something that's out there and unpredictable and wild, but it's much more than that. Something benevolent, a self-sustaining, intelligent system that if you just understood its ways and would align your ways with that, it would look out for you. And so my coaching through those clarity processes, as I explained, I help people find their own nature inside. Once you have that, once you see that and realize that, you get to appreciate that, and then you get to also appreciate nature on the outside as well. And I think this is lacking in today's time, you know. Secondly, it's concerned with personal, individual happiness. You know, when people are not happy with their lives, and they feel they're not getting out of life what they want emotionally, their emotional needs are not being met, they get into very bad places, very selfish places, and I call these states self-absorption. And it is a very healthy and a very natural and evolutionary, a very adaptive thing. You know, just think about when the individual, part of the tribe, right, is not doing very well, then the energy supply towards the tribe and all the other people and nature, the surroundings, is kind of cut off, so that the energy gets contained within the individual, so that this energy can then be spent towards finding the solutions towards the pickle that they're in, you know, why their life's not working out. And through finding clarity about what you actually want in your life, this is the first step to realizing these life circumstances. And then life takes on a different turn. Your life quality increases, and as people go through those processes and they see their life change, then something very, very interesting can be witnessed, that the state of self-absorption, of selfishness, very naturally transforms into wanting to do something for other people as well. You know, when you get to the state, to the place where you say, okay, my life is truly how I want it to be, and I'm good, I like myself, I like other people, things are great, right? Then you feel naturally inspired to do something for other people. And I think it's unfortunate that right now in our times we don't understand this very basic mechanism of the human psyche. So in the same way as when like a human or an animal is like physically ill, physically sick, the energy, you know, supplies towards the surroundings and others is like is withdrawn and is contained for this one individual, so that the energy can be spent for like healing. The same happens on the level of the psyche. Very unfortunately, we're not educating young people to go through those clarity processes so that they actually find that. So many people stumble into life and then they end up being unhappy. They maybe start a family early, they have other responsibilities, but they've never answered those questions to themselves of like, what do I actually want? How do I want my life to look like? Having this kind of clarity. And through my coaching, I help people find this clarity. And as I said, this is the first step of actually actualizing this life. First, you have to be clear about what you want. And then life can take a very different turn from that. And I think a lot of the problems that we see today as well in the world are due to people being selfish. You know, less energy is being spent towards a resolution because people feel, you know, I don't have enough for myself, I can't give anything to others. Plus, you're a little unaware of how you treat other people, how you treat the environment. You know, when you're like stressed and unhappy with your own life because it's not working out, you just get some cheap takeaway food and you throw away the containers. You see what I mean? These are all little symptoms of the self-absorption. Whereas when your life is where you want it to be and you like yourself, you've gone through those healing processes, you feel you have naturally a much heightened awareness towards the feelings of other people and empathy, and like you feel inspired to take care of nature and all of that because you're not so absorbed with yourself anymore. So this is the second point, personal fulfillment. And the third point is that I really deeply care about children. Now, I don't have any children of my own yet, but I do have younger siblings, and friends of mine have children. It's always like such a heartwarming thing for me to see how a child develops and like child development and the patterns that form. This is a huge passion of mine, and I think I understand that pretty well. And I also, in the positive and in the negative, right? If you educate a child well, it will grow into a very beautiful human being. Like, I'm generalizing right now, right? But I'm also very aware of when things are not ideal, and by the way, they rarely are, but we can make a contribution to really provide a protected and great and beautiful environment for children. That kids grow into adults, like if the circumstances are not ideal, these things affect children very much, because human children are meant to be very malleable and very impressionable. And you know, even if you don't physically or verbally abuse your children, when you're not happy with your own life because you lack clarity and you don't even know where you're going and you're kind of burdened with all those things, you know, when personal fulfillment is lacking, you will invariably pass this on to your children, right? You can't help them, can't help yourself. As I said, even if you don't physically or verbally abuse your children, they sense your unhappiness. They are meant to be very perceptive towards what's happening within the parent as well. So my contribution to that is that I help adults get towards the point where they say, my life is truly where I want it to be and I am happy, and now I'm truly ready to be a father and a mother, because I just like to share all the love and all the happiness that I feel with my child and educate them well and spend a lot of time with them explaining how life works and how nature works and animals and plants and all the beautiful things of life, the magic of life, this sacred magic, you know, thing that we are concerned with here, and it's called life. And so I wanna make a contribution towards this as well, because children are very, very close to me, and through, you know, the healing work where I'm involved in, I see how deeply ingrained those patterns are when parents are unconscious. And this is all due to this self-absorption, right? When you have a child and you feel your life is not where you want it to be, then you can't help it. You are self-absorbed, and then you have very little to give to your children. So these are the 3 points where I feel my coaching is making a contribution towards solving, some of the problems that we see today in the world. And I hope you join me on this path so that you understand right now what's behind that. Now, obviously, I care about you as a person as well, once we get to know each other, once we get to meet. But there's also some deeper sense of mission behind that, and this video is meant to share that. So, yes, I've received your application so far, and I hope that we get to talk, and then you can make up your mind if you want to come to Peru for a coaching intervention. Thank you very much, and I wish you a beautiful day.